The box office is dying, and there's no way of denying it. Films still make billions of dollars a year, but the numbers are significantly down. Movies projected to win big are failing, holiday weekends are doing the worst they ever have, and things are looking pretty grim for theatrical releases. So I wanted to go over the recent history of the box office and everything that's been going wrong. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I initially saw this article, and this is really why I wanted to have this discussion. This is from IndieWire. It says this was the worst Thanksgiving weekend in box office history. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is still #1 and Strange World tanked, but here's what's important. The 3-day Thanksgiving box office weekend came to 95 million, which of course is still a lot of money, but in 2019, this weekend's total was 181 million. In 2018, 216 million. For all of 2019, only 4 weekends fell short of 100 million. The last time a Thanksgiving weekend grossed under 100 million was really never. Nearly 30 years ago, Thanksgiving of 1994 saw a 3-day weekend of 94.5 million when ticket prices averaged $4.08. Now, I do think that this is a combination of things. First of all, I just think the films that are out are not very entertaining for people. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has been out for a couple of weeks, so it's not a brand new release, but a lot of people have already seen it if they wanted to see it, and the numbers have been shrinking for it at the box office. But Strange World completely tanked. It's one of Disney's largest bombs at this point, and it's no surprise to see why. It is the wokest animated movie I think most of us have seen. It features an LGBTQ romance. There's even a disabled dog in it. The underlying theme is about climate change. And I think that it was marketed really poorly because it's a PG-rated film and it's animated, so you'd think that kids would want to see it, but parents aren't bringing their kids, and also a lot of adults aren't going to see it because we do not want these narratives constantly shoved in our faces. They are putting narratives over entertainment and good storytelling, and people are not buying it anymore. People are tuning out from these films. This article brings up the fact that, Strange World thuds in a dismal Thanksgiving box office weekend. Disney is projected to lose $100 million because this film has done so poorly. And I wanted to also show this article. This is from January of this year. It's also from IndieWire. It says Scream takes #1 from Spider-Man, but the box office is dying from a lack of movies. This isn't a new situation. The box office has been facing massive problems for a couple of years at this point. Of course, the pandemic happened, a lot of theaters shut down, a lot of movies were not releasing, and they were, of course, releasing online, and that did hurt this industry. But I think at this point, it's also just because of the content that is releasing. Very few movies release every year that people actually want to pay for, and ticket prices are very expensive. I know that they do vary, but in my area, at least, movie tickets are $15 to $20 each. Never mind a drink, popcorn, snacks, food. Never mind all of that. That is very expensive for, a 2-hour experience. Again, this is from January. It said with an estimated $30.6 million for 3 days and $35 million for the 4-day weekend, Paramount Scream dislodged No Way Home after 4 weeks at #1. It says Scream, of course, is a horror franchise reboot, the first installment since 2011 and the first from Paramount. The Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend usually sees at least one major new release, limited date expansions, and an array of Christmas releases still strong in theaters. This year we have one new film, one huge holdover, and little else. This was, again, one of the worst MLK holiday weekends that had been seen. The box office is dying, and there's no way to really deny it at this point. This was a article from Cinema Blend in 2021. It says final box office numbers for 2021 bring good and bad news for Hollywood. It does say that 2021 made around 4.4 billion at the final domestic box office numbers, but the bad news is that the glass half empty element of 2021's box office numbers coming in is when you look at it in comparison to 2019. In the year before COVID, the domestic total was 11.39 billion. 2021's projected 4.4 billion means that the box office was down 61% from 2019. In other words, Hollywood was still very much dealing with the effects of the pandemic. Of course, we are not dealing with the pandemic anymore. Theaters are all open, of course, and the numbers are still terrible. There's just no way at this point to deny that the box office is having some major issues and it's struggling. It also says we've come a long way and it would be unrealistic to expect numbers close to that of 2019's. The 2020 domestic box office came out to 2.2 billion, an 80% drop from 2019 and a 40-year low for the industry. Additionally, 2019 was a record year for the box office, with of course Endgame becoming the second highest grossing movie of all time behind Avatar. 2021 was a year of progress and compromise for Hollywood. The industry's juggled releasing its films in theaters only with massive releases going to streaming on the same day, or such as with Black Widow being available to rent for a premium fee. Going forward, studios are going back to exclusive theatrical release windows, notably Warner Brothers, and there's a number of heavy hitters like Batman, Jurassic World, and Black Panther 2 that could catalyze more progress this time next year, which of course, we don't know the full final numbers for this year's box office, but I don't think that they're going to be great. I do think that part of it is the prices of tickets. People do not want to pay $20 a person to go and see a 2-hour movie, but I also think it's the content that is releasing. We are not getting good storytelling anymore. Very few movies release every year that are genuinely amazing. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on this for sure, but holiday weekends are doing much worse than they typically do. In the next few weeks, we should be getting the box office numbers for 2022 as a whole, which is going to be really interesting, but for now, that's all the information that we really have, so that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.